Hello and welcome to the old Fliers. I received a comment from John McLean on our Kokoda campaign video. He asked, what happened to the ex-RAAF Legacy Hornets that were supposed to be sold to Air America and only made it to the Marianas? It didn't take long to come up with an answer, and one that makes a good story. In March 2020, the Australian Minister for Defence Industry, Melissa Price, announced that up to 46 ex-Royal Australian Air Force A-18 Hornets, as well as associated spare parts and test equipment inventory, would be sold to Air USA. That would make owner Don Kirlin the owner of the world's most advanced private air force. The jets were to be refurbished and used for aggressor training, which is simulating enemy aircraft for military exercises. Although the terms of the deal have not been disclosed, the purchase does include all of the RAAF's FA-18's spare parts inventory and test equipment valued at over $1 billion alone, according to Kirlin. Those parts will be incredibly valuable as Air USA is planning on putting every single airframe it receives back into service, not just the 36 aircraft that are flyable today, but the other 10 that are not as well. Air USA is not to be confused with the fictional Air America. The Hornets were ferried by ship from Australia to Tinian in the Northern Mariana Islands, a US territory, in late 2020 for storage and refurbishment. However, Air USA reportedly faced financial difficulties and the refurbishment process stalled. Some reports suggest the company struggled with US export controls, maintenance costs, and certification hurdles. In December 2021, the Australian Defence magazine reported that the status of the Australian Hornet sale was unknown. As no aircraft were ever delivered, the contract ultimately lapsed in December 2023. The majority of the ex-RAAF Hornets remain in storage on Tinian. Some have speculated that the jets might be scrapped, sold to another buyer, or repurposed for parts. A few were reportedly cannibalised for spare parts to support other Hornet operators like Canada, which still flies Legacy Hornets. There were rumours that other private military contractors like Draken International or Top Aces might acquire them, but no confirmed deals have emerged. The Royal Canadian Air Force briefly considered additional Hornets but opted for F-35s instead. Given the Hornets' age, some airframes are 30 plus years old, their operational future is doubtful. Of course, if the jets were paid prior to delivery, Australia wouldn't care. The deal was that they were to be delivered before payment received. Oh, that's dumb. I'm assuming that the Australian defence industry did their due diligence on Air USA. Air USA, now known as Raven Aerospace, is based in Houston, Texas. It offers adversary air, close air support, joint terminal attack controller, and intelligence, surveillance and reconnaissance training to the United States Department of Defence. Raven Aero's first aircraft, a Czech Aero L-39 Albatross, was purchased in 1994. This was at a time when doing so was considered an extremely complex and convoluted affair full of pitfalls and unknowns. Since then, Don Kirlin has repeated the process dozens of times over and was the first owner of a private MiG-29 Fulcrum in the United States, among a long list of other exotic flying firsts. In 2019, Air USA was one of 7 companies awarded an indefinite delivery, indefinite quantity contract to support the United States Air Force's Combat Air Force Contract Air Support Program in October 2019. Following the introduction of the BAE Systems Hawk 67 acquired from the Republic of Korea Air Force, 2 accidents occurred, with the latter resulting in the death of an innocent bystander on the ground. The subsequent National Transportation Safety Board investigation found substantial shortcomings in operational procedures, including deviations from the approved flight manual. The United States Marine Corps subsequently prohibited further use of the Hawk, and they were stored until being reactivated to support the program in 2019. As of July 2024, Raven Aerospace owns 6 Aero L-39 Albatross aircraft, 10 BAE Systems Hawk 67, 5 Pilatus PC-9s from Australia, 17 Cessna T337 Turbo Skymaster from AirScan Inc. and Northrop F-5E Tiger II aircraft. In the early 2000s, Don Kirlin joined forces with the Airborne Tactical Advantage Company, which was blazing a trail with their contracts with the Navy to supply fast targets and electronic warfare pod-toting adversaries that mimic everything from enemy cruise missiles to fighters for Navy and Marine fighter aircraft and Navy surface combatants to train against. Kirlin said that the Australian Hornets were in incredible shape, no doubt due to the dry conditions in Australia compared to the salty conditions found aboard aircraft carriers. Kirlin says that he looked at all the aircraft his competitors have bought, especially the Mirage F1s from Spain and France and Atlas Cheetahs from South Africa, that his competitors, ATAC and Draken USA, have snapped up and passed on them. As for these Hornets parked up on Tinian, well, what would you advise? Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, and consider donating $1 or $2 to support our ongoing work.